explain why you should not be exhausted. Okay, unfortunately, this is something that I see quite a lot. Okay, in our days. As you can see there, the flames. Why? Because today we talk a lot about burned out. I don't know if that's typical here, but I see that in different countries, not just on QA, but also on QA, that we are exhausted by the end of the day. And by the way, I also started a tradition some years ago that whenever I go to a conference, I take with me a bottle of port wine, okay, for the best question. Okay, I know that we also have t-shirts and a port wine, so please keep your questions to the end, and you will be able to get a bottle of wine. So let's start. And I don't know if you feel like this, okay? I feel like this for sure, okay? I just arrived at 5 a.m. and I started today, and I started my trip at 5 a.m. yesterday, okay? So I need strong coffee, a lot of strong coffee. And I know that lots of QAs are now coming from different backgrounds, okay? And usually they don't drink coffee. And then as soon as they start to be a QA, as soon as they get into this IT world, then they say, oh, I need a coffee, okay? So that's what happens. Sometimes we are starting the day and already exhausted. And that's not fun, right? And in today's life, we need to have fun also, not just the work that pays the bills, but also... you know, in the end of the day, you feel like you did enough. You still have all those user stories, all those post-its that you need to clean, okay? So that's not fun at all. But why is this? Are you doing exhaustive testing? No? It's impossible. Well, you are well trained here in Armenia, I can tell you that. But if I had, you know, not $1, but if I had $10 for each time that I interview a person, and I heard this, oh, in my previous job, I was doing exhaustive testing. You know, I won't be rich for sure, but I can tell you guys that I will be able to take nice vacations with that money. Still, today, we have testers that say, oh, I'm doing exhaustive testing, okay? And of course, if you are doing that, you cannot be surprised if in the end of the day you are exhausted, right? Exhaustive testing, of course, you will be exhausted. So, as you said also, exhaustive testing is impossible. And we should know that already, right? Everyone should know that. But true is that in the end of the day, we are still exhausted. So, probably we are doing something wrong or something that we can improve. Okay, and if you know this from the ICTQB, you have already some hints there. So you have the risk analysis, you have the test techniques, you have the priorities, you have the focus, so you have the answers there. But are you doing that? Are you really using the tools that you have? So how can we be wiser? Okay, instead of being exhausted, right? So how to test smarter, not harder. Any ideas? Any hints? What do you think? How can we be smarter in our daily tasks? What do we need?
Find the shortest way.
Shortest way. Well, the shortest way, it's a good way, okay? Sometimes, if we are cutting corners, that could bring a different set of problems, okay? But if you look to the turtle, you have a hint there, okay? The turtle is not choosing the shortest way. What is the turtle doing? Use some tools, right? So if you use tools, of course, you can be smarter, you can be faster, you can be more efficient, okay? If you use the right tools, okay? And when you think of tools, what are you thinking of? You are a QA, you go to a meeting and someone said, oh, we need some tools. Okay, what will be in your mind? Best tool is your brain. Wow, damn guys. You are really, really well trained here. Good job. Not exhaustive, but most of the times we think on test automation, right? Tools, test automation, and programming language. That's the wrong way to do it, okay? Don't think on that. But yeah, we can think about test automation. But it's not just about test automation. It's not just those tools. The same way that testing is not just execution. You have all these different activities that you need to do. Even automation, it's not only execution, but we are thinking always execution as the only part of automation, right? We can have, for example, test data creation also with the automated tools. That's also automation, but it's not test execution. But as soon as you give a tool, you know, and usually it's what we call the hammer, okay? As soon as you give a hammer to a tester, you have this risk. Not just to the tester, but today we are talking for QAs, for testers. So everything may look like a nail, right? You have that hammer, you know how to use it. It's very simple, right? Everyone knows how to use a hammer, right? You just grab it and hit something hard, okay? Even if it's a nail, okay? It works, okay? If it's a boss, it also works. You just need to hit a little bit harder, okay? It's a tool for everything. And what is a hammer for a QA? It can be the last template that you use. So you are in a project and you create this wonderful, this magical template, Excel with all the things that you need. You go to a different project, different context, different customer, different technologies, but you still have that hammer with you. And you will bring your hammer. So even if it's not the right tool for the job, that will be your hammer. It's what you are used to, okay? And most of the times we bring our hammer project to project without even thinking if it's the right tool for the job or not, okay? You already have that in your mind. And if you remember also from the foundation, another principle is that software testing, it's context dependent, right? So we need to understand the context. It's not one tool fits all. Unfortunately, when you learn how to use the hammer, you don't want anything else, okay? The hammer will always be there, easy to use, so you already learn it, so it's your safe zone, okay? So, but a fool with the tool is still a fool. Okay, so it's not just because we have a tool, we have our hammer, that we are smarter or that we are faster or more efficient. Okay, I don't know if you agree with this, but I have a better version of this. Okay, so I say that the fool with a tool is a more dangerous fool. Okay, because it can hurt more, right? It can make a bigger mistake. Right? Just give a tool, and if it's a powerful tool, it's even worse. Okay. And we have lots of examples in the news in our recent days, what a man can do with tools, right? So let's not go there. But how is your tool set? How is your toolbox? It's like this one. You have a hammer or a broken hammer, but you have a toolbox that is a little bit rusty. You didn't update it, you are not taking care of your toolbox, and it's mainly a toolbox with a tool, with a hammer, nothing more, right? You go from one project to the other, and the only thing that you take with you, it's your hammer, okay? Not even a good hammer, but it's your hammer, okay? It's your tool. Is your toolbox like this, rusty, or are you investing and are you learning new tools? It could be something like this. Say, oh no, my toolbox, it's a professional toolbox, you know, heavy height toolbox with lots of tools, like these professional ones. And when we are talking about software testing, then I found this interesting image in the web, and you see all these tools. Say, oh, this is my toolbox. You know, I have everything and something else in my toolbox. I'm an expert. So you just name it, and I will take it out of my toolbox. Okay? Or it can be a more adjusted toolbox. And as you can see, the hammer is still there, always, always, okay? Different hammer, but it's there. And you say, oh, no, I have some tools, not all the tools, but I have some tools. And I also found this one, top 15 automation testing tools. Again, tools, what you think, automation, right? And you can see some of their, you know, most used in the market. The common names are always there, and then you add some flavors on it. But I also found another one, quite interesting, from 2017. Okay? So what do you think about this one? When you look to this, is there anything that calls for your attention? Is there anything that you think it's a little bit strange? A little bit different? No? Well, I think this one is quite interesting because you have, let's see, data-driven, you have BDD, you have keyword-driven. So these are not really tools, are they? No? Who think this is wrong and they should not be here? Only me? Be brave, be bold, be a QA. They are approaches, okay. So are those approaches also tools on your toolbox? Or not? It's a way to set up test automation. Only test automation? We'll come back to that later, okay? But so they are not tools. They are just approaches, they are just ways to set up test automation. Well, actually, I don't agree with that, okay? I think test skills and test techniques are also in your tool set, in your toolbox, okay? If I give you a tool for test automation, and if you don't know anything about software testing, will you be able to do a good job as a tester? Probably not, right? So, as I heard before, the brain is your best tool. The knowledge is your best tool. And we learn lots of techniques that you should use also as a tools. Why don't you think them as a tools? Why don't you think about the techniques as testing tools? Because usually when you think about tools, you think about test automation, right? About this set of tools. But the techniques that you can use also on test automation, those are the powerful tools, okay? It's not the hammer that is important. It's how to use the hammer, okay? You have this joke about that guy that earned a lot of money and he just went to, to a place to screw, something. And then he asks for a lot of money. You say, why so expensive? You just optimize that screw. And say, yeah, it's not the work, it's to know the right screw, right? That you need to use. It's just that specific expertise that you have. That's the important. So when we look to tools, and as I said, if you look carefully, you will have already some hints there. You will see the test techniques. Those are also tools that you should use, okay? Not just the tools for automation. So when we go back to the tools that you learn, okay, what techniques did you learn? Lots of them, right? You have a huge list. This looks like the Star Wars movie, when the letters come through. So you have all of these: equivalent partition, boundary value analysis, table testing, state transition, classification, use case. Wow, lots of them. I'm just exhausted reading this. So, but from this list, what are the ones in your toolbox that you use? Not just in your toolbox, being Rust, but the ones that you use. Tell me, what are the techniques that you really, really use in your daily job? Use case testing? Checklist. Okay, great, good. You use that? Okay, good. Exploratory testing. Okay. So from this huge list, use just a few, okay? Just a few of them. So you have a huge toolbox with lots of tools, and what do you use? Your hammer, okay? So this is your hammer. The use case testing, it's your hammer. It's what you use most of the time. Why? Is it efficient? Are you still writing test case that no one reads? Yes? It's just me, or you also doing that? Yes? So why are you doing it? Oh, because it's my hammer, because it's my safe zone, because someone told me that I need to write test cases with all the detailed steps, like in the old days, when we believed that even the cleaning lady should be able to run the test case. So the test case should be really, really detailed, to explain not what I want to test, but how I want to test, what button to push. So I don't even need to know the context, I don't even need the business, Because I have the test case, right? So I'm just a bot, a manual bot, you know, without the brain, pushing and clicking on things, okay? That's not the fastest, smartest, funniest way to do it, right? Where is your most important tool, your brain, on that job? Not there, right? Not fun at all. So why aren't we using the rest of the tools that we learned, that we know? Okay? So that's what I'm challenging you today, okay? To think on these tools that you receive and to understand if we can use different tools to be smarter, okay? To not be exhausted repeating what we are doing, okay? Repeating that work, writing test case, executing test case, go to the next one. Oh, there was a change. Oh, review the test case again, okay? Execute them again manually, okay? So this is also one tool. Let's go to some specific tools that I like to use, okay? And you can say, oh, this is not a tool, it's a principle. Well, I see it also as a tool, okay, that I can use. Do you know the Pareto's principle? More with less. Do you know this one? 80-20? Yes? So 20% of the effort, 80% of the results. Well, I think this is being smarter, you know, to be able to do 80% of the results just with 20% of the effort. And it can be 80% of the defects are in 20% of the models, okay? So why not adjust our effort to these 20% of the models? Because it's where we will find out more defects. Or 80% of the defects are found by 20% of the test case. So if I have 1,000 test cases, should I always execute them all? Well, ideally, yes, but then in the end of the day, I will be exhausted. So I can focus my priorities, because the day it's only 24 hours, okay? And we also need some time to sleep. So we need to be smarter, we need to be wiser, not to work hard. 80% of the users only use 20% of the features, okay? So why spend 2 days testing that feature? You know, you go through, test it, you test all the different scenarios, and in the end of the day, no one will use it, or only one user will use it. Does it mean that you don't need to test it? No. But you should think carefully what is the effort that you are investing, okay? For example, this is also quite useful on mobile testing. Is anyone doing mobile testing? No? Not mobile? Well, you will be, okay? Believe me. Sooner or later, everyone is moving to mobile first. So when we are talking about mobile testing, the common request is, oh, we need to have this tested in all the devices, in all the mobile phones, okay? Crazy, right? Every day you will get a new phone with not just a new phone, a new model, a new operating system, so that's crazy. But we know that 80% of the users are covered by 20% of the device. Okay. So in a recent test that I did for a mobile app in South Africa and another one in Spain, we received this. Oh, we need to cover all the different devices, iPhone and Android. Okay, so we don't have Windows device anymore, but just with these two, we can have lots of fun, right? And I said, well, this is not feasible. You know, that will be exhaustive testing, and it's impossible. I say, okay, so what is the best solution then? I say, 80-20, let's go with Pareto. We will look to the market, we will look to the analytics data, and we will find the 20% of the device that will give us 80% of the coverage. It's not 100%. Yeah, it's true, it's not. But remember, QA is about risk, but it's also about the balance, right? The effort that you have and the risk that you are covering. So this is a very good use of Pareto. So most probably you all knew Pareto, okay? You knew 80-20, but most of the QAs that know this, they are not using it, okay? They just say, oh, the customer is crazy. He's asking for something that is exhaustive, something that is impossible, but it's the customer, so let's do it. Instead of pushing back and say, no, there is a better way to do it. 80% of the testers only apply 20% of the techniques, okay? Do you agree on that? Most probably, okay? So we learn lots of techniques, very good techniques, proven techniques. Oh, but I have a very good hammer, so let's stay with it, okay? It also depends on the context. It's true, okay? One context that I heard over and over again is, oh, my project is special. Do you have a special project? Are you in a special project? Yeah, you also. Oh, my project is special. So, and you are also, I believe we are not in the same project, but I'm glad to know that you are in a special project. So as you are in a special project, guess what? You can do the things differently. Oh, let's not use the best practice, because the best practice does not apply to my special project. Okay? Did you ever heard that before? I heard it every single day. Okay? My 160 QAs always tell me this. Oh, this project is special. Okay, we cannot do the best practice. And then in the end of the day, you know what they tell me? Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm working 10, 12 hours a day. I cannot do this any longer. And what about the tools? What about best practice? Oh, we don't have time for that. Okay? But it could be just my experience, Maybe I found the bad QAs. I need to come and get some from Armenia. So, data-driven testing, it's only for automation. I heard that before, right? Oh, this is an approach. Yeah, I agree. It's an approach, a technique for automation, but also for manual testing. And I will say it's even more useful for manual testing because it saves a lot of effort, okay? If you are writing test cases, let's go to a basic example of a login, okay? You have admin user, you have a regular user, and you have a wrong credentials user, okay? That you are not able to log in. So how many test cases you will write? At least 3, right? One to validate the admin, one to validate the regular user, and one to validate the wrong credentials. 3 different test cases. And now imagine that this test case, or the feature was changed, and you have a checkbox where you're saying, oh, this is a private laptop, or it's a public, computer, okay? So I don't want to store my credentials in the system, okay? For safety reasons. So what you will need to do, you will need to go to all the different test cases, in this case only 3, but you need to update them, right? So you are repeating yourself. You are doing the same thing over and over in 3 different test cases. I have a golden rule that is attached to this principle, dry principle, and again, it's a principle from automation. But I have my golden rule that is, if you are doing something in more than one place, if you are changing something in more than one place, it's wrong. Okay? Just take it for granted. It's wrong. So if I need to update the checkbox in 3 different places, it's wrong. Okay? Think on it as there should be a better way for doing this, because I'm spending the same effort to 3 times. And it's, just a checkbox. But not all the projects are as simple as a checkbox or just a login page, right? So you can see this effort going crazy. So in this case, you should use this data-driven testing, okay? So instead of having 3 different test cases, and that's what we do in automation, proper automation, okay, following the best practice, you only create 1 test case with parameters, with variables. So why not doing that in our manual tests? Are the guys doing automation smarter than the ones doing manual tests? Don't think so. But we need to use the techniques. Sometimes we are just focused on the hammer, on the use case, without thinking, how can we improve this? So data-driven testing is a way to improve it, okay? And by the way, some of the tools, and as you can see, the test type is manual. Some of the tools is from X-ray. Some of the tools that we have today for managing tests already allow us to do this. So in this case, you just define the properties, you have the data set, so all the values, and you don't need to write. You should not write all these test cases over and over again, okay? So you have a feature for one solution, and now you have a new brand, you have a new language that you need to test. What will be the easiest way, the fastest way? Copy and paste, right? Copy and paste, and then find and replace. Where you see brand A, now you will see brand B. Where you see English, now you will see Armenian. Okay? And when you need to maintain, you need to maintain twice the number of the tests. But instead of having 1,000 test case, we have 2,000. Okay, our project is really, really important. We have 2,000 test case. Okay, 2,000 test case that we need to maintain, by the way. Okay, so it's extra effort. So, but data-driven itself can also be combined with other techniques. So we are combining use case with data-driven and, for example, with combinatorial testing. And again, the tools already help you with that. Okay, so for example, you have only one test case, you have all the different parameters, you click on a button, generate all the different combinations for execution. So you are creating once, but you are running it multiple times. Okay, so this is a very good technique. I love this from the automation, but I also love to bring this into the manual testing, and I'm really happy to see that the tools are already supporting the manual testers on this. Even smarter. Okay, can it be even smarter? I will bring another technique, another tool that I really love it. That is the Pairwise testing. Do you know Pairwise testing? Yes? And do you use Pairwise testing? Oh, okay. So it's another tool that you have in your toolbox. A really fancy one, a really nice one. And raise the hand if you use it. We don't need it on our special projects, right? So, 2 persons use it. And raise the hand if you know it, or if you heard about it. Okay, a little bit more, okay? So, but you never apply it. You know it, it's in your toolbox, somewhere there, okay, but it's not your hammer. So imagine on this simple calculator, okay, really simple one. 3 different values and 1 button. So you choose one value from 0 to 9 on this drop box, and you just click on sum. Simple, right? This is my special project, simple one, okay? I believe your projects are simpler than this, but this is mine, okay? So, as I said, you just select the numbers, you click on sum, and the total number of different combinations. It's 10 multiplied by 10, multiplied by 10, 1,000 different combinations, okay? And I'm a really busy guy because I'm doing this by hand, okay? You know, my project is really special and I'm working 12 hours a day doing all these different combinations. Or I can be smarter, right? I can do the pairwise combinations. So the pairwise will give you all the pairs. It will not give you all the different combinations, but it will ensure that you have all the pairs, that you have all the values for the different inputs, for the different factors, okay? But as you can see, instead of 1,000, now I only have 110. It's still a huge number, but much smaller than the 1,000. And the good thing with Pairwise is that imagine now we have, you know, a much more powerful version of my calculator, okay? Version 2.0. So instead of 3, now we can sum 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. Product owner is already talking about the next one with 7 numbers, okay? That will be a major, major improvement in the market. But right now, we have 5 numbers, okay? Crazy, right? So with these 5 numbers, I'm exhausted. I need to have more QAs in the project. You know, I already told to my project manager, we need to have at least the double of the guys. Because we have now 100,000 combinations, okay? The good thing is that if I use Pairwise, can you see the difference on the increase? We are talking about 20 new test cases to cover the new 2 inputs, okay? Are you testing any form-based application? Any application where you have different forms, different combinations, and you need to relate them? So if you are under 12 or under 18, then you cannot do this, or you need to do this, yes? And you are not using Pairwise. So you are testing all the different combinations, and you are getting exhausted. Well, good. Well, now you know that there are some tools that can help you on that, okay? To use it or not, it will be on you. But this is what Pairwise tries to bring, okay? So instead of having this exhaustive testing, you will be a little bit smarter. So you will decrease the risk, but not with the time and effort that requires you to do exhaustive testing, okay? And by the way, you have different tools. You can see that pairwise.org address in the bottom. And if you look for PICT and PICtmaster, these ones are my favorites, but you also have tools that work online. So you just go to a web page, you paste all the data, and you can even use some rules, like if I'm working with Mac, I will not use this version of the browser, okay? So you can use that for test data, you can use that for test environments. It's a really, really interesting tool. Again, most of you guys know about it, but most of you don't know, don't use it, okay? 80% know it, only 20% actually use it, okay? These ones are my favorite. Why? PICT, it's a command line free from Microsoft. Yes, Microsoft free and command line. I know that sounds strange. And PICtmaster, it's just an Excel file. We love Excel files, right? It's just an Excel file that works as an interface for the PICT, okay? So you just go to your usual tool, the Excel, you paste all the parameters there, press a button, that button will call PICT, and you have another Excel with the optimized combinations of the inputs. So if you're already using a tool, manual, or automation that reads the data from an Excel, probably you will have, so you already have your data set ready, your input ready, okay? So I love these two, but you have more there that you can use. So exploratory testing. I heard about that. Are you doing exploratory testing? Yes? Okay. What is the average duration of your sessions? 1 day? More? Less? Less? Depends? Consultant. You see? Depends. Well, if it's more than 1 hour, probably you are not doing it properly. Okay? So when we are doing exploratory testing, most of the testers said, oh, I don't need to write documentation. I'm doing exploratory testing. Okay? So what you are doing today, exploratory testing. Did you find any bugs? No. And tomorrow, yeah, we'll do the same. Exploratory testing. It's quite nice. And our project is a special project. Okay? So I need to do it exploratory. So it's not the case. Okay? Again, it's not just the tool, it's to be able to understand the tool and use the tool properly, okay? I can tell you that most of the testers that are using, or they say that are using exploratory testing, actually they don't know the technique, okay? They believe they know the technique because they are not using test cases. It's structure, it's informal, but it's structure. So you have a structure for that, okay? And if you are not following the structure, if you are not following the right strategy or the right implementation of the technique, you are not getting the value out of it, okay? So it's experience-based, it's session-based, and it's a different approach to the testing activities, okay? It's not applied everywhere. For example, if you are a junior, probably that's not the best tool to choose. Checklist, I also heard about that one, okay? It's a very, very interesting one, really simple technique. Do you use checklist based? No? Okay, good. Let me give you an example, how this can offload some work from you, okay? Once I was in a project with these, I will say teenagers, but you know, most of you guys are quite young. Let's say this mobile phones generation, okay? Where they don't write the full words, they just write some short version of the word, okay? And our front-end guys, they were writing or designing the front-end labels in the same way, okay? So instead of using normal words, I know it's stupid, developers, you know, I'm still a developer, by the way, okay? So don't get that wrong. But they were just writing the labels in the interface as if they were writing SMS message to the friends, okay, with lots of typos, lots of mistakes. And the QAs were spending lots of time doing just syntax validation, just, you know, reviewing the English message in the labels. You know, it does not make sense. So what they did, they just created a basic checklist, not for the QAs, but for the developers, saying, before delivering this to us, you need to write your, to go through the checklist and make sure that everything is covered, okay? So, another use of the checklist. So final takeaways, we have 5 minutes to go, so final takeaways, work smarter, not harder, okay? But how can I do this? So look to the tools, look to the techniques that I share with you, It's your toolbox, okay? So take care of it. It can be a powerful toolbox. It can be a toolbox just with a hammer. It can be a rusty toolbox. It can be a state-of-the-art toolbox. It's your toolbox, okay? So keep learning. Keep investing on you, okay? Don't tell me, oh, I'm too exhausted to learn. I don't have time to learn. You know, I'm in a special project that is taking all the time that I have. If you are not investing in you, you know, if my team members tell me, oh, I don't have time to invest on me, why should I invest on them? Right? If you don't have time to learn, if you don't have time to invest on you, why should your employee invest on you? That's the message that you are passing, okay? So keep learning, keep finding better ways to do it, okay? Don't be like these guys. Oh, I'm too busy in my special project to improve, okay? I cannot improve. No time for that, okay? Find time to improve. Find time to learn, okay? Don't get on that washing machine doing the same thing over and over again. It's really, really easy to happen that, okay? Oh, I was planning to take my training, my certification. When? 2 years ago. 2 years ago? It's a 1 hour training. Why didn't you take it? Oh, you know, all these special projects, they took me over and over. And, you know, I'm too busy. Next year I will do it. Okay, guess what? 5 years later. Oh, it's in this year I will do it. It's on my plans. Okay? Be lazy. Okay? I like to be lazy. Work less. Okay? But be a smart lazy. Okay? Not the wrong kind of lazy. Okay? Be lazy. Try to find better ways to do the same thing. Okay? That's really, really important. But keep in mind that you can be lazy, but you cannot cut in corners on the quality. Okay? And to all of you guys, I like this definition of quality. So it means doing the right when no one is looking. Okay? Not just because you have someone looking over your shoulder to make sure that you're writing the right things. No, you are doing it right. You are being lazy because you have the tools to work for you, but you are not cutting corners on the quality. Okay? So, obrigado. Thanks. Merci. So we start with some fire on the burnout. So we finish with some highs, some snow. And now we have some time for questions. So just before going to that, we have some t-shirts, guys, okay, to offer for the best question. And for the ones that were not here in the beginning, I started this tradition whenever I go. I take a little bit of my country with me, a port wine, okay, to offer to the best question. And yes, I will have some more talks tomorrow, and I have some more port wine for tomorrow also, okay? So for today, questions?
Okay, hello. I have a question about pairwise testing. Yeah, in your example, you have a calculator which calculates 5 numbers. Yeah, and how to convince your customer that just pairwise is enough and you don't need to do 3 and 4 combinations?
Okay, so I will get the answer to this calculator was quite simple, but I have a real project how to convince the customer. How to convince the customer that pairwise is the right tool to do, okay? How to convince the project manager that we should do automation? How to convince the project manager that we should use tools, okay? We don't. We just use them, okay? Because we are the experts, not them. Okay, we need to be able to know the tool, we need to be able to know the technique, and then we have all the tools to explain to them, okay? So why it's not feasible to do exploratory testing? You saw my example. If you show to the customer, look, in this form, if we go with all the combinations, we have 100,000 different combinations. We can do it. It's not the best way, it's not the smartest way, and this is the bill, okay? You just need to pay 5 persons during 5 weeks, and we will do it. Why not free? So, why not two, why only free? So you need to touch the points where it hurts, okay? So you have, usually when you are talking about customers, they want, they care about money and they care about time, right? So you can tell them, doing this, it's a proven technique, we will reduce the risk, and we will reduce the time, and we will reduce the effort, okay? So the costs. You need to show them that you know what you are doing, that you are the professional, okay? If you do that, I can assure you that they will buy it, okay? If they are a smart customer, they will buy it. If not, then you just get yourself more money, more work to do, okay? By the way, behind the scenes, you can still use Pairwise, and they are paying the full combination, but that's not what you are delivering, okay? Because you are still working on the quality. You are not cutting corners. You are just being smarter, okay?
Last question.
Thank you. Well, if we don't have challenge, then you will get the box. Anyone else?
Thank you. Can you share your secret with us? What are your best hammers?
What are my best hammers? Well, I shared some of these with you, okay? So my best hammer, it's data-driven and pairwise. These are really, really powerful techniques that everyone knows about, but everyone has a wrong understanding about it. Okay, they think, oh, data-driven, it's only for automation. Wrong. You can do it also with manual. Oh, pairwise testing. Yeah, I heard about that in the foundation. I think I did. I read it. No questions on the exam about pairwise testing, so I didn't care about that. So it's really important tool, a powerful tool that takes you a little bit of effort, and you can increase a lot what you can do. So those are my favorite ones, together with another one that it's keep learning. Okay, always keep learning. I think that's a very important tool that you should have in your tool set. It's quite easy just to stay with the old hammer without challenging yourself, okay? So do that daily. I do that daily, okay? I always try to learn something. If it's for a conference, if it's for a training, for a certification, I always try to learn something on a daily basis, okay? I always keep some time of my work, of my daily work, to go through some tutorials, to go through some news, to understand what is happening, what is changing on my work, related to the work, you know, new tools, new techniques. I always try to do that. I think it's a good habit that you should have also in your tools, okay? Don't be too busy to learn, okay? Quite important. And I know that it's easy to get into that. Oh, I'm too busy. Tomorrow I'll do it. Okay, and then, oh, too busy again. Tomorrow I'll do it. Okay? And when you realize, 10 years passed. Okay? It's a good exercise that you can do. It's to understand what is the value of your profile, of your CV in the market. Okay? I tend to go to to interviews regularly. I will never say no. But I don't change jobs frequently. But that's also a way for me to validate, to test my own knowledge. Okay, if I go to interview and if they don't value my profile, I'm doing something wrong. It means that I'm losing value in the market. Okay.
So I would say that only your values are challenging you. Your own values.
Well, my values are challenging me. Yes, that's true. Not only that. Okay. The work is challenging me. We have new projects every day. We have new techniques, new technologies. So everything is changing today, and not just the values. But we also need to challenge ourselves, because the world is changing, and if we don't change also, we'll just be behind, okay, easily. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we are running out of time then. Thank you, guys, and thank you for being here. I know that you have some stickers outside for the feedback. If you like it, thumbs up, okay? If you don't like it, thumbs down. But if you don't like it, I will just ask for a favor. Come to me and tell me why you don't like it, okay? Especially for the speakers, probably you don't understand that, but we put a lot of effort behind the scenes to prepare these talks to you. So challenging me helped me to understand how can I improve. Thank you again, and let's go for the pairwise testing. You have a white, yellow shirt, so I will give to this lady. Thank you. Congratulations.